cyberspace astronauts. Are you ready to be entertained with pointless jibber-jabber and senseless small talk? If so, then you have come to the right place. It's the Todd Cook Show, starring Todd Cook, and featuring music by local and national artists. Now, broadcasting from his garage, here is Todd Cook.
Hello. What's going on? How's everybody doing today? I am here. You are here. I am talking. You are listening. This is the Todd Cook Show. You are listening to episode 2 of season 2 of this here podcast. Thank you very much. I am broadcasting, or I should say recording live from my basement in Wichita, Kansas. The great city of Wichita, Kansas. I'm sure you're jealous and wish that you were here, but some of you out there listening right now might be here in Wichita, but if you're not, you should be jealous. It's a great little town. On this episode, I got some music by Nick McEwen and the 33 coming up towards the end of the program. You don't want to miss that, so stay tuned for that. I also have a little story I want to tell you about my bike rides. I've been going on bike rides, riding my bicycle back and forth to work and back, and I want to tell you about that a little bit. And I also want to tell you guys about the lies that I hear people from Arizona and Florida telling a lot. They tell some lies, and I want to inform you guys about that so you will not be fooled about those lies. I'm here in the basement, and the basement has been a good move so far. I used to broadcast from my garage, and now I'm in my basement, and it's been a good ever since I've done it, except for one little thing, and this is why this podcast is a little late getting here. During the summer months, the way our house is set up, we got the main level, and then we got the basement where I'm at now, and then we also have a third level up above, which is really would just be an attic, except for the people who lived here before us fixed it up to where there's a livable space up there. And my 6-year-old's bedroom is up there. And it works out really nice, except for during the summer months, it gets kind of warm up there. It's not insulated up there properly, and the air conditioning, there's no vents that go up there. And eventually we're going to do something to remedy that. But for now, it gets pretty hot up there in the summer. It's, if it's 80 degrees or above, it can get about kind of warm. If it's 90 degrees above, it's pretty much not very... You don't want to stay up there. Nobody would want to sleep up there for sure. Even a 6-year-old boy would not want to be up there. And it's been pretty close to that here in the last week or so. And so we moved Johnny downstairs to the basement right here behind me. And last night, I usually, when I record my program, as soon as I get Johnny, the oldest one, to bed, I come to the studio here and I record my podcast. I did the same thing. Last night, I come down here, I got Johnny to bed. Normally he's upstairs, but I came down here, got him to bed, read a story to him, did all the good stuff, laid him down, went back upstairs and said, all right, got to record my podcast. And then suddenly I remembered my studio's moved downstairs right where Johnny is sleeping. And so I can't go down there and record the podcast because he's asleep. And that thought never entered my mind one time until it was too late. You would think that I would think ahead and be like, well, if Johnny's going to sleep down here now, I need to do the podcast earlier before he goes to bed. But that never entered my mind one time until after I laid him down in bed right next. And I'm not saying another part of the basement. My computer is here. If I turn around and look back behind me, I can see the bed that he sleeps in downstairs. It's right here in the same room. But for some reason, that never registered into my brain to say, I'm not going to be able to do my podcast after Johnny goes to sleep, since he's sleeping right there. So that's why this podcast is a little late, but better late than never. Here I am and ready to get started here. And another thing about my son, it's hard to believe, but he's almost done with kindergarten already. The summer break is upon us. He's got just a couple more days, and he's done. And so during the summer, he'll be down here quite a bit, and so I'm going to have to start recording my podcast like Saturday or Sunday morning instead of later in the evening. All right, here we go. I want to tell you about riding my bike to school. It seems like it'd be a relatively simple thing for me to do, but and it is. It's only 1.5 miles, and I do it mostly just for the exercise. It saves gas. Why not? Why not do it? It's a nice, easy ride just down the road. Then you go up over a bridge, which is kind of hard. I used to push my bike up over the bridge. There's a bridge here that connects our neighborhood to the park that's on the other side of the interstate. And, of course, you don't want to be walking across the interstate, especially if you got kids or something to go to the park. And the only other option, you'd have to drive like way around out of the way and go back to the park. And so in order to allow people from our neighborhood to walk over to the park on the other side of the interstate, they just built this big bridge that goes over the interstate, a walking bridge. And it's got like a spiral that goes up. You got to walk up the path, and then you go across, and then a spiral that goes down on the other side. And it used to be, and it's a nice ride, all except for that bridge. And even if you're walking, it's a really nice walk, except for that bridge. You got to go over that interstate, and it takes a little bit of an effort to get up there. And I used to walk my bike up, but I recently started to shift it down into the lowest gear, and I'm able to get up it easier on the bike now than I am walking, and it works really good. But I'm not the best of shape. I'm 38 years old. I think I do all right, but I've been noticing other bike riders, because right as you get over the bridge on the other side where the park is, there's actually a bike path right there. And so I very rarely ride to work and back without seeing other people, passing other bicyclists on that bike path or on the main road by the park or wherever it might be. But I always see other bikers, and I start gauging myself and comparing myself to how they're doing. And I don't always do really well. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. One thing I know for sure is that when the wind is at my face, and in Kansas, it's usually windy, at least some, and it's very, very common to have pretty strong winds. And if that wind is coming in my face, you very much notice it. And it very much slows me down. And I'm just changing the gears of my bike to try to keep up, a decent pace. Because I found that if I drive to work, it takes me about 5 minutes. And if I ride to work, it takes me about 10. So that's another reason. Why not ride? It's not just 10 minutes longer. But when the wind's in your face, I really start huffing and puffing. I'm standing up, trying to keep up a steady pace. I don't want to be going too slow, because there's some people walking there, and I'd hate for somebody who's walking, and I'm on a bike, for them to be walking faster than I'm riding. I couldn't let that happen. So I'm really trying to move there. And but the funny thing about the wind, you definitely feel the effects when it's at your face. But when it's at your back, you don't feel the effects of it. I'm sure it's helping me. It's pushing me along a little ways, but you don't feel it as much for some reason. It's obvious that things are a little easier, but you don't really feel it. You think, when the wind's at your back, it'd be like somebody running along, really pushing you, like where you could almost just coast and not have to pedal. But it's not like that. When it's at your back, you don't feel it that much. You know it's there because things are easier, but you don't really feel it as much as I like to. But when it's in your face, you definitely feel it. But I've been noticing myself riding, and like a couple of days ago, I'm like riding, and I'm pedaling, and there's another bicyclist. At this point, I'm off the path, but he's on the path. And without giving too many details about how it's set up, I'm quite a ways away from him at this point. I'm going around a curve, and he's kind of going the other way. And I'm trying to gauge myself, wondering if I'm going the same speed that he is, because he's just far enough away, and at just a weird angle where I can't really tell if I'm going as fast as he is. But one thing I know for sure, he looked like he was going faster than me. And I'm pedal, or probably a little faster than that. I'm probably like pedal, 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 pedal. And he's just going pedal, 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 pedal. But he seems to be getting by me at twice the speed that I'm going. And there was one time I saw a jogger, and I'll never understand joggers. There's a guy in my band that runs. He just ran a marathon a few weeks back, and he's ran lots of marathons, and he's a big time runner. He likes to go out and run. I don't understand running. If nobody's chasing me, I'm not going to be running. It's hard enough to ride a bicycle, let alone running. But one time, same situation, except for instead of a bicycle on the other side, there was a guy jogging. And I thought this guy jogging was going faster than I was. And I'm like I said, pedal, 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 pedal. And he's just the long, smooth running strides. And he was going faster than me. And I was tempted for a little while to ride my bike over closer to him so that I could see, to convince myself that although he is running, I'm still going faster than him. That's what I wanted to check out. I wanted to get closer to him to make sure that I was actually going faster than he was. And I actually started turning towards him, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that because I'll probably most likely be disappointed. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. It's already that time. It's already 10 minutes into the show here, so I'm going to take a quick break. But don't go anywhere. You're listening to Todd Cook Show, and I will be right back. Hi, Todd Cook here. Do you like going out on Friday or Saturday nights for some supper and live music, but you're not into the bar scene? Because let's face it, when the alcohol starts to flow, those places can get a little loud and a bit rowdy. Sometimes to the point that it becomes difficult for you to enjoy your food or the music. Do you wish that there was a place that had good food, good music, but a less distracting atmosphere? A place that you can enjoy the food and the music, but still get home at a decent hour? Well, that place does exist, and it's right here in Wichita on the corner of Douglas and Hillside, or 110 South Hillside to be exact. It's called The Kiln. They have live music every Friday and Saturday night starting at 7 p.m. and ending at 9. The Kiln is a Christian-ran, non-alcoholic establishment that operates solely on donations. And they always have great food and great entertainment. And one of the best parts, you don't need a babysitter. You can bring the kids with you. So for more information, contact Mike through the Facebook page. The Kiln, K-I-L-N, and be sure to check it out yourself this Friday or Saturday night, 110 South Hillside, corner of Douglas and Hillside in Wichita. The Kiln, where they are always glad you came. Sorry about that. Pushed the button too many times. I meant to push it once, and I pushed it like 10 times. But that sometimes happens here. My keyboard must be a little touchy because I barely hit that thing. You're listening to The Todd Cook Show. My email address is thetoddcookshow@gmail.com. Thetoddcookshow@gmail.com. You're looking me up on iTunes as well. Just go to the podcast section of iTunes, and you can find my show there as well. Also, one thing that I fail to mention to people a lot, and I need to do more often, is that you can go to Podomatic.com. That's Podomatic.com. And there you can download any of my shows that you want straight to your MP3 player or your iPad or your PC or your cell phone, whatever device you use to listen to music or podcast on. You can download entire episodes right there at Podomatic.com. And of course, you can also listen to the show on YouTube.com/The Todd Cook Show. But I know a lot of you out there, if you're at work or something, you might be, if you use your phone, even if you have internet access through your phone, it might be difficult sometimes to get a good enough signal to be able to stream this show away from your Wi-Fi connection that you might have at home. So if you go to Podomatic.com, you can just download the whole thing onto your MP3 player, and then wherever you're at, no matter where you're at, when you're there, no matter what kind of signal you have, you'll just be able to listen to the program, and it should not be any problem whatsoever. All right, let's talk some more about bicycles. One thing I've noticed as I've been riding my bicycle is that they still make boy bicycles, and girl bicycles. And I'm here asking the question right now, is that necessary? Because the reason they made girl bicycles different than boy bicycles was because girls would wear dresses and they didn't want to have to lift their leg all the way up over the seat while wearing a dress to be able to ride a bicycle. And that makes perfectly good sense if it was, the 1880s or even up to the 1920s or 30s or 40s even, when women were still wearing dresses. But women no longer wear dresses, and very few of them that do wear dresses consistently still probably will not wear a dress while on a bicycle, right? And when they first designed the boys' bike with the bar that goes straight across, I'm not sure why they did that at all. If they just wanted us to have to lift our leg up over it, I'm assuming maybe it was because that horses, they were just, they were used to riding horses, and a horse, you got to lift your leg up over it. So maybe they just decided to do that, with a bicycle, or maybe it was more structurally sound or something. But have you ever seen a woman nowadays, especially, ride a bicycle while wearing a dress? I don't think it happens too often. And even back in the you'd have to go back to the 50s probably before you'd find women that would ride bicycles with any level of regularity while wearing a dress. And, women just probably didn't ride bicycles back then. The only lady I can think of, whenever I picture a woman riding a bicycle from a long time ago, the only thing I can think of is the old lady, the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz, and that iconic scene of that movie. And so here's what I would suggest to bicycle makers. I'm a guy. I don't like to lift my leg up over that handlebar either. My wife, who is pregnant, tried to do it a couple of days ago just to see. I don't know what she was trying to do, to tell you the truth, but she tried to do it and almost hurt herself a little bit. So I don't mind the girl. Let's all make them all like girl bikes now. Why have the girls and boy bikes both? Just have girl bikes. Wouldn't that make more sense? The boy bikes can still be blue, and the girl bikes can still be pink. The boy bikes can have the lightning bolt stripes on them, and the girl bikes can have the little flower designs on them. But we don't need the straight bar and then the bar that dips down anymore. Girls don't wear dresses anymore, so. But, he said we make them all boy bikes, but I say make them all girl bikes. Wouldn't that make more sense? Now, nobody has to lift their leg up anymore. Just get rid of the boy and the girl bike. It doesn't make sense to me. It would have made sense to me back, 75 years ago when women were still wearing dresses. They should have instantly, once they made the girl bike, they should say, well, let's do it all like this. Why does a guy have to lift his leg up over him? I'll have to look into the history of bicycles and see if I can figure out what the point of that is. But so go to your write some emails to the bike manufacturers out there, Huffy and Trek and Schwinn. Say no more boys and girl bikes. Make them all like girl bikes, and we just won't call them boys or girl bikes anymore. We'll just call them bicycles. It seemed like it would save them a lot of time and a lot of money. So let's get on board, everybody. Let's do this. No more boy bikes, no more girl bikes. Just make them all like a girl bike would be, except for we would no longer call them girl bikes. We would just call them bicycles. All right, I'm going to play a song by Nick McEwen and the 33. They are a local band here out of Wichita, Kansas. I believe they might have just recently changed their name to just the 33. But if you look up Nick McEwen and the 33 on Facebook or just the 33 on Facebook, you can find him there. And if you want to listen to this next song or any of the other songs that they have on iTunes, you can go to iTunes and look up Nick McEwen and the 33. This song is called Nothing Wrong. So Nick McEwen and the 33 with Nothing Wrong on the Todd Cook Show.
I feel like crying. I wonder if you can see it
Nick McEwen and the 33 on the Todd Cook Show. Look him up on iTunes. Nick McEwen and the 33. And that song was brought to you by B&B Towing. B&B Towing is the best towing company in the entire Wichita area, and as far as I know, the entire world. Cheyenne Brown, 316-214-4021. Call him up if you need any kind of a towing service. If you need a tow, if you need a jump start, if you need a winch out, if you've been locked out and need help getting into your vehicle, if you ran out of gas, and I've done that several times, call Cheyenne Brown for fuel delivery. And even if you have an old clunker that you want to sell, you can call him and he will help you get rid of that. Cheyenne Brown, 20-year veteran of the United States Air Force, 316-214-4021. And you know what? I'm going to tell you a quick little story about B&B Towing that will let you know just how honest of a company this is. The other day, he told me that he got a call to go somewhere and tow a car. They could not get it to start, and they needed to tow it to their garage to be able to get it fixed. Well, he went there. They told him what the problem, why the car wouldn't start, what it was doing, and him being a great mechanic, he was able to fix the problem right there on the spot. He popped the hood, did what needed to be done, and started their car for them. Now, other tow guys probably wouldn't do that because that's not the way they make their money. The way they make their money is to tow the car like the customer thought they need it, and that's how they'd make the most money. So that's what most tow guys are going to do for you. Most towing companies would just went ahead and tow that car. But since he's a great mechanic as well, he was able to troubleshoot the problem and fix it right there on the spot and save those people a lot of money. So call B&B Towing out of Mulvane, Kansas. If you're anywhere in the Wichita area, B&B Towing, 316-214-4021. You're listening to the Todd Cook Show. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, everybody. Do you live in the Wichita area? Are you looking for a great place for lunch or dinner? Do you love live acoustic music but don't know where to go? Try the Artichoke Sandwich Bar. It is located on the corner of Broadway and Murdoch in Wichita, and it is a fantastic place to eat and listen to live music. It is located on the corner of Broadway and Murdoch in Wichita, and what goes better with a sandwich than a cold beer? So look up the Artichoke Bar on Facebook today to find out when they are opened and what musical artist is performing next. They just celebrated their 30th year in business, so you know they're doing something right. The Artichoke Sandwich Bar, 811 North Broadway, Wichita, Kansas, where everything is okie dokie artichoke.
All right, I am back. I got 5 minutes left here on this program. The Todd Cook Show at Gmail is my email address. Look me up on Facebook or iTunes or go to Podomatic.com and you can find the show at any one of those places. I'm going to finish this show here. I was thinking about those bicyclers that seem to ride faster than I do with less effort. There's times that I just want to run them off the road. There's a couple times I just got kind of mad. I was like, how are they doing that? It must be some special bike they got. I'm not real sure. I was either going to run them off the road or throw a stick through their spokes or something. But now I'm going to finish the show here talking about the lies that people in Arizona and people in Florida like to tell. And they both tell the same lie, and that lie is this: Arizona's got great weather. Or people from Florida will say, Florida's got great weather. That's a lie. I know for a fact that Florida doesn't have great weather. I've been there multiple times. And every time I've been there, it's been hot. 90 degrees, 95 degrees, and humid, extremely humid, is not nice weather. And I've heard from people that live there that it's very common, at least in some parts of the state, it seems like just about every day at some point in the afternoon, you get a little bit of rain. And the reason is it's just so stinking humid that the rain, eventually the water has to fall somewhere, and it comes down in the form of rain. My sister used to live down there, and she lived in this nice housing addition. They had a swimming pool, an outdoor swimming pool. Thought that'd be kind of nice on a hot day. It was like 95 degrees, and I'm sweating, and it's humid. Mosquitoes are biting me. Let's get in the swimming pool. Stepped into the swimming pool is like stepping into bath water. It's ridiculous. Okay, Florida at certain times of the year, yeah, the weather's probably pretty nice. But I think about the 7 months out of the year, it's just hot and miserable down there. And then Arizona's even worse. I've never been to Arizona, but I don't need to go to Arizona. I just looked at the forecast just today, and it got over 100 degrees there in Arizona. 100 degrees is not nice weather. And you can say it's a dry heat all you want. Okay, I live in Kansas. It gets up to 100 degrees here quite frequently, and probably almost as dry, much of a, quote, dry heat as it is in Arizona. 100 degrees is hot. Folks, if there is a temperature setting on your oven that goes to that temperature, that's too hot to be living in. Okay? That's a temperature you're supposed to cook things in. And I don't care how dry you think the heat is, 110 degrees is hot, okay? And if you don't think so, then go set your oven on 110 degrees and stick your head in it. If you really think that's nice weather, stick your head in an oven that's set on 110 degrees and see how dry that is. It's dry, but it's still really hot. And I think people from Arizona would probably do that since they like to say that so much. That's how they try to get people to come to their state. That's how they try to justify living a place where it's 110 degrees all summer long. Oh, it's a dry heat. So I think if I told them to stick their head in the oven, they'd probably do it. And be like, are you okay in there? Yeah, I'm fine. But are you sure? It looks like it's pretty hot. Oh, I'm fine. It says it's 110 degrees. Yeah, that's right. And you're okay with that? Yeah. You like 110 degrees? Yeah. It's a dry heat. Yeah, dry heat. 110 degrees. I don't care how dry it is or how humid it is. 110 degrees can never be anywhere on the planet considered nice weather. I think we'll end the show right there. Kind of a short show. How about that? I usually go too long. This time I went short. I didn't even notice that. I looked over just now and saw I'm only at 24 and a half minutes, or 27 and a half minutes. Thank you very much for listening to this program. Sorry it was a little bit late, but come back next week and I'll have one up here in time, hopefully. Instead of on a Monday night or Tuesday morning, it'll be up on Monday morning like it normally is, or even Sunday night. Thank you once again for listening. This is the Todd Cook Show. Come back next week. I'll talk. You listen.